Today, across the country, thousands of pensioners are quietly asking themselves a question they never thought they'd have to consider: is my pension really safe, or am I just assuming it is? We've spoken with real retirees, and what we heard is worrying. One gentleman told us his payment didn't come in this week, for the first time in 15 years. He looked genuinely confused, said he didn't know why it happened. Another said she almost lost her full pension because she hadn't checked her national insurance record. If she hadn't taken the time to dig through the system herself, she would have been shortchanged without even realizing. Many people we spoke with didn't even know that major changes to the state pension are happening on July 14th. One woman shook her head and said, "Nobody told me anything. No letter, no call. Why are they changing things now when we're already struggling to keep up?" Some have noticed unusual delays, payments vanishing without warning, no explanation. What's even more surprising is that they only found out something was going on through online channels like the British Pension Hub, not from the government itself. Here's the truth: a lot of us assume the pension system is reliable, stable, something we can count on. But from July 14th, that assumption might not hold up. Big changes are coming to how state pensions are handled in the UK, and no, they're not small updates. We're talking changes that could impact who qualifies for a pension, when payments arrive, and how much is actually paid out. And the worst part? Most people won't know they're affected until something goes wrong. You might wake up in mid-July expecting your regular deposit, planning to pay your rent or buy groceries or treat your grandchild to a birthday cake. Then you check your bank account, and it's not there. No warning. No explanation. Just silence. And that moment of panic could hit thousands of pensioners unless we start paying attention right now. The Department for Work and Pensions is introducing new eligibility checks, new payment schedules, and a much more rigorous system for verifying your personal details. And they're doing it quietly. Some of these new policies are buried so deep in technical documents that the average person would never even know they exist. But if you don't know, you can't act, and that's where trouble begins. The biggest shift comes in how eligibility is evaluated. Under the new system, they'll be taking a closer look at your national insurance contributions, your residential history, and even your recent interactions with other government benefits. And here's the thing: even something as minor as changing your address or switching bank accounts could trigger a revalidation request. The DWP might pause your pension while they double-check your records. That's not a theoretical risk, it's happening. And it's not just new retirees. Even people who've been receiving their pension for years are being re-examined under an automated system that flags anything unusual or outdated. This means that a small oversight, a missed update, a wrong digit, could lead to delays, reductions, or suspensions in your payments. This isn't about fraud, it's about system accuracy. But it means honest people are at risk of being caught in a tangle of bureaucracy. And if your pension is your main source of income, even one missed week can be devastating. Then there's the payment schedule itself. Most people assume the amount will stay the same, and in many cases, it will. But what's changing is when the payment arrives. Maybe you've always been paid on a Monday. Suddenly, it's a Thursday. Or one week it's early, the next week it's late. That unpredictability causes chaos. Direct debits bounce. Bills go unpaid. You're on the phone with your bank and the DWP, getting passed from one department to another. If you've ever spent hours trying to get a straight answer, you know how stressful that can be. And now, let's talk about pension credit, because this is where things get even more complicated. As the cost of living climbs, many pensioners have turned to credit top-ups and other benefits to stay afloat. But from July 14th, the way these interact with your state pension is changing too. They'll be reviewing not just your income, but your household savings, your partner's earnings, and the value of any secondary properties you might own, even if they were inherited and are currently unused. If you cross certain financial thresholds, even by a few pounds, you could lose access to that extra support. Worse, these reviews can happen after the money has been awarded, meaning you might have to pay it back. That kind of financial whiplash, receiving money one month, then being told you owe it the next, is incredibly stressful, especially for those managing medications, mobility issues, or daily expenses on a fixed budget. But it's not just about the money. These changes have a very real emotional impact. Retirement was supposed to be a time of stability, a reward for decades of hard work. Instead, many pensioners feel like they're being asked to reapply, to justify the help they've already earned. If you live alone, or don't have adult children nearby to help you navigate the system, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. And that anxiety is very real. But the good news is that you're not powerless. You can take steps now that will make a big difference later. Start by checking your national insurance contributions. Log into your digital records. Yes, it might take a few clicks, but it's worth it. One missing year can affect your full pension amount. The deadline to fill in old gaps has been extended, but time still matters. Next, make sure your contact information is up to date. So many people miss key updates simply because they moved house or changed an email address. From July, DWP will begin sending automatic requests for revalidation. If they can't reach you, your payments might be paused. And if you currently receive pension credit or any income-based benefit, prepare for a reassessment. These new systems are designed to pick up even subtle changes, so keep your records clean, keep your documents ready, and make sure you're on top of your information. Yes, it's a lot to think about. But if you're still watching this, you're already ahead of most. You're not waiting for something to go wrong. You're learning, preparing, and staying one step ahead. And that matters. Take Margaret, for example, a 72-year-old retired nurse living alone in Kent. She thought none of this applied to her. Her pension always arrived on time. But after watching an earlier video like this one, she decided to check her records. And sure enough, there was a clerical error in her national insurance history. 1 year hadn't been counted. If she hadn't caught it, her payments would have dropped this July. But because she acted early, her pension stayed safe. That's what information can do, it protects you. And not all the changes are bad. Some are designed to help. The new digital systems will automatically flag low-income pensioners for cold weather payments and fuel support, no application needed. That's a win. They're also making changes that simplify how mixed-age couples are assessed, which could mean better clarity and faster decisions if you or your partner is below pension age. But here's the bottom line, these benefits only help if your records are current and accurate. What you do now could shape what happens next. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Most people look away when things get complicated. But you leaned in. You took the time to understand what's happening. And now you know what most people don't. That's your power. Don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a friend, a neighbor, a family member who also receives a pension. You might be the reason they avoid a financial shock. And here's one last piece of good news. The DWP is preparing a compensation scheme for people who were historically underpaid, especially women who left work to raise children or worked part-time. It's not widely publicized yet, but it's coming. And only those with clean, updated records will qualify. By acting now, you might not just protect your future, you could be entitled to a back payment you didn't even know existed. So yes, the system is changing. But you're not powerless. Stay informed. Stay ready. And take control of what's yours.